Revealed. 3 miraculous ways divine abundance is manifested through supernatural spirituality. In the heart of a quaint English village, whispers of divine intervention stirred the air, like golden leaves in a gentle breeze. Folks spoke of 3 miraculous ways that God's bounty rolled into their lives unrequested, unearned, yet always present. Shadows danced like flickering candles, hinting at the sacred encounters that unfolded in the chapel on Sundays. As the faithful gathered, gripping hope tighter than ever, desperate for a sign. One Sunday, as Mary knelt, fervently praying for her son's health, a warm golden light streamed through stained glass windows, casting a celestial glow that swallowed all doubt. Light refracted in tiny rainbows, creating a halo around the altar. The villagers felt it, a surge of divine energy wrapping around their hearts, and suddenly, their burdens felt lighter. Just as St. Jude was invoked, an urgent prayer floated up, filling the rafters. Could the very walls of the church resonate with the faith of the willing? Could their drink of desperation find roots in the sacred? But a dark cloud loomed. Her son fell gravely ill, and for Mary, the heart of faith became a storm of fear. She clutched St. Jude's statue nightly, voices of doubt creeping through the village like fog. Would God truly save her boy? Every heartbeat echoed her prayers, her soul on fire while she heard others succumb to skepticism. A chilling wind in the once warmer village. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously. It makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Weeks passed under the weight of despair. Despair that turned virulent when an errant pastor began spinning tales of grandeur and abundance. His silver tongue played like a lute burdened with promises that danced enticingly in the tired hearts of many villagers. Joy turned to confusion, and faith strained under the weight of false hopes and empty words. Mary watched, fists clenched, as her neighbors traded their prayers for the allure of glamorized faith. Yet, against the odds, the day came. In a moment that felt as eternal as the heavens, her son's laughter rang through their home. A miracle. It rippled like a wave through the hearts of the villagers, breathing life back into a community exhausted by despair. Their joyful cries of "God has heard us" echoed, shaking the rafters beneath the weight of collective miracles. This was a testimony of hope. Her heart soared as darkness began to melt away. But doubt seeks comfort in the shadows. As whispers of skepticism began again, sharp like glass, believers turned on Mary, questioning her conviction. In the church, before the flickering candles and the reverent congregation, Mary gathered them one last time. Her voice rose, unwavering like a clarion call. Look to the hope that binds us. Our prayers remain our shield, our anchor. Would they kneel once more beneath the divine promise? As silent prayers took flight, the church trembled with intensity. With hearts open wide, they beseeched the heavens, the air thick with desperation and faith. Just when doubt threatened to sweep them away in its current, a bright light erupted from the altar. A divine spark ignited the room, a wave of peace washing over every soul present. Could this be the very breath of heaven itself? As the villagers looked to the light, questions loomed. What awaited them on the other side of newfound faith? Would their hearts hold fast against the storms brewing in the distance? With the dawn of a new day, a renewed village stood together, each heart ambivalent yet eager to witness the unfolding miracle, the sacred dance of faith beckoning them closer to the light. The luminous glow enveloped the chapel, washing over every faithful soul like a blanket of warmth. Gasps and whispers filled the air as arms reached toward the altar, drawn by the light that seemed to pulse with life. Mary stood at the forefront, her heart swelling with a mixture of joy and trepidation. This was the moment they had longed for, but what lay ahead remained veiled in divine mystery. As the villagers felt their fears lifted, a deep silence wrapped around them. The flickering candles cast shadows that danced upon their faces, revealing expressions that ranged from awe to renewed hope. The light touched each one of them, igniting a spark that had long lay dormant. They felt a profound connection with the heavens, an invitation to step into a fuller faith. Together we can cast out doubt, Mary encouraged softly, her words beckoning as gently as the breeze that stirred outside. We are gathered in love, a community anchored in faith. Let us seek the truth behind this light. Her voice, laden with sincerity, resonated deep within their hearts, reminding them of the covenant they had forged through prayer and shared struggles. Suddenly, the light pulsed brighter, sending ripples of energy through the congregation. "What is this?" a timid voice called out from the back. It was Matthew, a humble farmer, whose eyes shone with wonder. "Is God revealing something to us?" "Yes." The thought raced through the hearts of many, igniting their passion for seeking understanding. Would this be the answer to their unending prayers? As they stood united, the air thick with expectancy, a figure materialized within the light. It was a gentle presence, serene and radiant, with eyes that held the mystery of ages. The villagers gasped, hardly daring to breathe, caught between fear and divine curiosity. "Children of faith," the figure spoke, his voice tender and commanding like the chime of a silver bell. "The light before you is more than a sign, it is a reminder of the abundance that flows from surrendering your hearts to me." Mary clutched her chest, the profound truth settling deep within her. "Lord, we have struggled, we have battled doubt and fear, yet here you stand." The figure nodded, a smile playing at the corners of his lips. "As I poured forth my life into the world, so too do I delight in pouring blessings into your lives. Have faith as you have never before, for the heavens are ready to break open above you, revealing the treasures of hope, love, and community." Tears filled Mary's eyes. A collective wave of warmth surged through the villagers. Hands clasped together in prayer, they lifted their voices as one. Words of gratitude flowed freely. Yet even as the cries of joy echoed, doubt lingered like a ghost at the edge of their gathering. They could take this moment of divine encounter and lose it in daily life. Their old struggles, temptation, and fear could easily jump back in. Could they hold on to this miracle? With this thought, an uneasy silence fell once more. The figure beckoned them closer. "It is not enough to see the light. It is faith in action that unfolds the miraculous. Will you embark on this journey together?" The question lingered heavy in the air. What would it take to navigate this new path of faith? As anticipation crackled around them, Mary glanced at her neighbors, their faces reflecting both doubt and determination. "The journey has just begun," she whispered. With newfound courage, the villagers clutched hands tighter, their spirits eager for what lay ahead. They did not yet know where this path would lead, but they understood one thing deeply. Trusting in the divine plan would become their greatest adventure. Where would this decision take them? What door would their faith unlock next? The air hummed with anticipation, an electric current of hope buzzing through the chapel. As the light continued to shimmer, filling every corner with brilliance, Mary felt a divine impulse surge within her heart. "We must act," she declared, her voice unwavering. "Let us put our faith into motion and witness the miracles unfold." Around her, the villagers exchanged glances, a flicker of understanding passing between them. They had come here as individuals, weighed down by their own fears. Now, they stood united as a community yearning for transformation. With a single heart, they began to rise. Matthew stepped forward, driven by a newfound courage. "What must we do?" he asked, his tone urgent yet hopeful. "How can we embrace this light?" The figure in the glow seemed to smile wider, encouragement radiating from him as warmly as the light itself. "To walk in faith is to serve. Seek out those in need among you. Show love, share your joys, and offer your prayers. Through your actions, the light will shine even brighter." The simplicity of the call stirred something deep within the villagers. They each remembered those around them who struggled, lost in darkness. Perhaps in serving others, they could hold onto the vibrant light before them. With a burst of energy, Mary urged everyone to gather in small groups, bound by intention and purpose. They embraced, whispered prayers, and shared stories of those who were suffering in their community. Each name spoken felt like a thread weaving them closer, connecting their lives with one another, with the divine. As they exchanged ideas, laughter broke out, a sound of faith taking root. This movement was more than mere charity. It was a manifestation of love. Each act would echo the divine promise of abundance that had been offered, fulfilling the covenant they shared. "Let us begin with the children," suggested Grace, a single mother with a heart full of compassion. "Many are hungry, and we can bring food." Joy, her voice trembled as the reality of the need washed over her. Food, clothing, warmth, companionship, chimed in another villager. Emotions ran high as they envisioned a plan to transform their community. In that moment of collective action, a shudder of energy rippled through the chapel. For every step they committed to take, the light pulsated, responding to their intention. A deep peace enveloped them, assuring them that they were not alone on this journey. "Remember, dear friends," the figure said softly, cutting through the excitement, "faith is not just what you hold in your hearts, but what you express through your hands and feet. Each step you take in love, believe that I walk with you." One by one, hands shot up in agreement. "We will reach out. We will share." Voices echoed, mixing with the soft glow. It was a chorus of renewed purpose resonating through the chapel, weaving through the air like incense rising to heaven. As they felt the warmth of the moment, Maria's heart sang with joy, but doubt crept back in like a shadow. How will we sustain this commitment? What if we falter? The questions weighed heavily, but before Mary could voice her fears, the figure stood before them again. "Your vulnerability is not weakness. It is a portal to growth. Remember, even in your struggles, my light remains within you. When you stumble, rise, for I shall be there to lift you." The villagers nodded, their spirits charged with purpose and light. They would forge ahead together, through trials and triumphs alike. With a final spark of brilliance, the figure faded, but the glow persisted, a promise of a journey just beginning. Would the faith of all these hearts be enough to see them through the challenges ahead? The weight of their mission stood before them, calling them into the world. What miracles awaited on the other side of their faith? What treasures of love and community would they uncover? With hearts wide open, they prepared to step into the unknown. The villagers stood at the threshold of their new beginning, hearts pounding and spirits alive with possibility. As they prepared to step into the world beyond the chapel, their hands clasped in prayer, they felt the warmth of the light still flickering in their souls. Mary took a deep breath, sensing the weight of their shared mission pressing upon her. "Let us split up. We can cover more ground that way." There was an urgency in her voice that resonated with everyone. They found their groups, each embracing their task as an offering of faith. "I'll visit the families in the home across the road," Grace said assertively, her eyes sparkling with a determination that shone like the light around them. "We can bring them food and share our hearts. Let us prepare a basket of essentials and deliver them," Matthew added, enthusiasm echoing through him. Every small gift can ignite the spirit of hope. As they dispersed into the village, the air crackled with energy. Each person felt a sense of purpose as they stepped into the streets, ready to embrace the call to love. With every step, the villagers whispered prayers aloud, creating a chorus of devotion that lifted their spirits even higher. As Grace knocked softly on the door of the home, her heart raced. Moments later, a frail woman opened it, her eyes filled with worry. But as Grace handed her the basket filled with food, something extraordinary happened. A radiant smile bloomed across the woman's face, transforming the heaviness in her heart. Tears glistened in her eyes as she whispered, "You've brought me the light today." The love shared in that moment echoed far beyond the simple act of giving. It wrapped around the two women like a comforting embrace, illustrating the miracles that flowed from one heart to another. Grace felt the warmth of God's presence enveloping her as she stepped back, filled with a profound peace. In the neighboring street, Mary and Matthew found a group of children playing in the mud, their laughter mingling with the sounds of squabbling and joy. She approached them, kneeling to their level. "Hello there, friends. What if we brought you some food and games to brighten your day?" The children's faces lit up like the very light they had seen in the chapel. They leapt with joy as word spread of the imminent feast. Mary turned to Matthew, her eyes twinkling. "See? Every small act can spark the brightest flame." Meanwhile, in other corners of the village, neighbors were reaching out to one another, clustering together to share their burdens and laughter alike. The spirit of community unfurled like a flower basking in sunlight, breaking free from the winter's chill. Yet, even as the villagers celebrated their newfound purpose, shadows of doubt began to weave through their hearts. What would happen when the initial excitement wore off? The challenges of life still loomed large. Mary reflected on her earlier fears but chose to push through, inspired by what they had already accomplished. The last rays of the setting sun cast a golden hue over the village, a reminder of the light that had first called them together. They met once more in the chapel that night, tired yet exhilarated. Each person shared testimonies of the miraculous moments they had witnessed, filling the sacred space with gratitude. Noticing the light growing dimmer, Mary felt a flutter of uncertainty in her heart again. How do we keep this going? What if we aren't enough? Before she could sink into worry, a gentle voice resonated in her heart. "Dearest, remember, faith isn't measured by perfection but by persistence. You are the light reflecting my love, and together, you will shine forever brighter." A hush fell over the chapel as each heart soaked in the words. Hope surged within them anew, igniting their spirits once again. And so, the villagers stood united, their purpose renewed. They realized that the journey was just beginning. What challenges might they face tomorrow? What lessons awaited in their commitment? With eyes closed and hearts open, the community of faith prepared for whatever lay ahead. The new morning dawned with a crispness that hinted at change. The village lay wrapped in a blanket of mist, the air vibrating with anticipation. As the sun broke through, illuminating the world with golden rays, the villagers gathered outside the chapel once more, hearts stirring with deep-seated hopes. Mary stood at the forefront, her eyes scanning the faces of her neighbors. There was a collective sense of excitement mixed with trepidation. "Today, let's not just share our gifts but also our dreams," she proposed, her voice steady yet warm. "What do we hope for? What is God calling us to envision?" Grace, always the first to uplift the spirit with her voice, spoke up. "Let us gather around the old oak tree in the center of the village and share. Each of our hopes can nourish the soil for greater things to grow." They walked, their steps a harmonious rhythm, a living testament to unity. As they encircled the majestic oak, its wide branches reaching toward the heavens, stories began to unfurl. One after another, the villagers took turns sharing what was heavy on their hearts, but also what they desired to see blossom. "I dream of a community garden," Matthew said enthusiastically, "filled with fresh vegetables for everyone, a place where we can harvest together." His words felt like seeds dropped into the fertile ground of possibility. A murmur of agreement swept through the group. Laughter and hopeful visions mingled, creating an atmosphere that felt almost tangible, like a soft breeze carrying a whisper of the divine. "Let us not stop at just one dream," Grace encouraged, her voice a melody of inspiration. "What if we also dreamed of a school? A place for our children to learn and grow, surrounded by love?" Every person began to share their dreams, intertwining them like strands of a delicate tapestry. The villagers envisioned vibrant gardens, joyous festivals, and newfound kindness spreading across each street. Each dream sparked another until the air buzzed with possibility, their spirits rising in unison. "Together we are capable of so much," Mary declared, her heart buoyed by the fervor surrounding her. "These dreams reflect the hopes that God has planted in our hearts." Yet, amid the lively discussions, a quiet voice emerged from the crowd, an elderly man named Thomas. Wrinkles etched his face, but his eyes sparkled with wisdom. "These dreams are beautiful," he said slowly, "but we must also build a foundation of faith underneath them. It is our trust in God that will make these visions fruitful." A silence fell over the group, a moment of reflection ignited by his words. The villagers could feel the profound truth nestled within. It wasn't just their hopes they needed to articulate. They needed to anchor each dream in a deep-rooted faith that would hold them steady through storms. From that poignant moment, a new understanding swept through them. They started to pray together, lifting their hearts in unison, declaring not just what they desired, but seeking guidance on how to manifest these desires through love and action. The air shimmered with a sense of purpose as they poured out their thoughts and prayers like fragrant offerings, hoping to align their individual dreams with God's greater plan. As the prayer reached its crescendo, a gentle wind rustled through the leaves of the oak tree, as if the very moment was touched by the divine presence. Inspiration flowed like a river, imbuing each villager with courage to take first steps toward their dreams. Later, Mary stood gazing at the rising sun, now a beacon on the horizon. "This is just the beginning," she whispered to the breeze. "What further wonders await us?" The community felt pulsing energy, each heartbeat echoing the promise of transformation. But as excitement coursed through them, deeper questions arose: what challenges lay ahead in bringing their divine aspirations to life? Would their faith be tested as they moved forward? And so, under the expansive sky, with dreams circling above them, they united once more, ready to embrace the unfolding journey ahead. As the sun climbed higher into the azure sky, the warmth began to chase the lingering chill of the morning. The village buzzed with newfound energy, but beneath the surface of excitement, uncertainty flickered like a flame waiting for the right wind to catch it. In the following days, the villagers set to work. They met at the community center, hands clasped in prayer and hearts open to divine guidance. They spoke of unity, raising their voices together in songs echoing the faith that coursed through their very beings. Each shared goal began to feel like a vital thread woven into the same grand tapestry of hope. Mary, fueled by their collective spirit, took it upon herself to organize the first community meeting for the garden. She felt a thrill of anticipation as she walked to the heart of the village one afternoon, envisioning the fresh produce that would not only feed their bodies, but also nourish their spirits. The excitement of sharing their labors filled her with purpose. As she reached the meeting spot, she noticed Matthew, Grace, and others already gathered, their faces bright with enthusiasm. They laid out plans, sketching diagrams in the dirt, using rocks to mark the ground they would cultivate together. "Isn't it wonderful?" Grace remarked, her eyes dancing with joy. "With every seed we plant, we're planting hope." "Absolutely," Mary agreed, though a small doubt flickered in her mind. "But how do we remain steady when challenges arise?" "They will come. We need to prepare ourselves." Just then, Thomas ambled over, his pace steady and contemplative. "The storms strengthen the roots," he said quietly. "Remember, the oak tree didn't grow tall and mighty overnight. It faced winds and heavy rains. Every challenge refines us." His gentle wisdom imparted calmness, wrapping around each heart like a warm embrace. With each passing day, they worked diligently. They cleared the land, prepared the soil, and soon the garden began to take shape. Seeds were sowed amid laughter and good-natured teasing, filling the air with a buoyant spirit. Neighbors brought water and tools, each person contributing what they could. As they toiled, they came together, laughing and sharing stories, deepening bonds. Yet the very act of taking steps toward their dreams was not without its trials. On one particularly scorching afternoon, a sudden dry spell hit. The sun blazed mercilessly, and whispers of worry rippled through the villagers. "Will our seeds survive?" some murmured, brow furrowed in anxiety. Mary gathered everyone together beneath the shade of the old oak tree. "In times like this, let us remember what we truly believe," she said, her voice firm yet soothing. "Every seed we planted is a promise, and promises need nurturing. Let us pray." They joined in prayer once more, lifting their voices as a single entity. They asked for rain but also for patience. Trusting in God's timing became their mantra. The sacred vibrations enveloped them, igniting a flicker of hope that danced as if the heavens were listening. Days turned into a week, and just when doubt threatened to take root, dark clouds rolled in on the horizon. "Look," Grace pointed, her excitement palpable. With a gentle rumble, the heavens opened. Rain kissed the parched earth, filling the air with earthy sweetness and anticipation. The villagers cheered and danced in the downpour, feeling droplets wash over them like blessings. But deeper than the joy of rain was the understanding that their unity and faith had carried them through the doubt. This, they realized, was not merely about a garden. It was a manifestation of their combined hopes and faith, a journey led by the Holy Spirit. As they stood there, soaked in laughter and gratitude, a question lingered: what other miracles awaited them on this path of divine abundance? What greater plans was God weaving into the fabric of their lives? With hearts full of wonder and anticipation, they returned to their work, the promise of transformation coursing through them, ready to face whatever lay ahead. With the garden flourishing in the gentle embrace of new rain, the villagers found their spirits lifted beyond mere hope. Each seed sprouting from the earth symbolized more than food. It became a testament to their unwavering faith in the divine. Yet, as the days passed, a new challenge loomed on the horizon. An unexpected visitor arrived in the village: Anna, a traveler whose weary eyes bore the weight of countless miles. Her arrival brought whispers of uncertainty. While some welcomed her with open arms, others whispered fears. Where does she come from? What does she want? Questions danced among the villagers, stirring doubt like winds disturbing still waters. Mary felt drawn to Anna, sensing a kindred spirit. One evening, as the sun dipped low, casting golden rays upon the village, Mary approached the newcomer, her heart open. "Welcome, friend. We are waiting for God's blessings to abound in this garden. Will you join us?" Anna smiled, a flicker of warmth spreading across her face. "I come seeking a community of faith," she confessed, her voice soft yet steady. "I have wandered far and lost much along the way. My journey has brought me here for a purpose I've yet to understand." Mary sensed a divine presence enveloping them both, as if the very purpose Anna yearned for echoed the dreams of the villagers. "All are welcome here," Mary replied, her spirit ignited. "Together we can tend to our garden and nurture one another." As days turned into weeks, Anna became a vital part of their efforts. She shared stories of her own struggles and triumphs, weaving threads of resilience into their collective tapestry. With each sunrise, the garden flourished, representing not just plants, but the restoration of hope within Anna's heart, a powerful reflection of God's grace. But the air was not entirely sweet. The looming fear of a drought returned, unsettling murmurs cutting through their laughter. "What if the rain doesn't come again?" people asked, uncertainty clawing at their joys. Mary called everyone together under the great oak, its branches stretching wide like arms of love. She felt an urgency in her heart. This moment was pivotal. "Let us remember," she began, her voice steady. "The very essence of our gathering is woven with faith. Together, we have sung and prayed, and the Lord has responded. In the depths of our challenges, let us remain steadfast." Inspirited, they prayed not for the rain alone, but for a greater understanding of their journey together. They whispered their fears into the air, letting them float up like the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers around them. With each word, they cultivated a garden of faith even stronger than before. Just when doubts began to creep back into their hearts, Anna stepped forward. "Let us open our hearts and trust in God's providence," she urged, her eyes sparkling with conviction. "I have learned that every twist and turn of my journey was nothing without the faith that I could draw from the divine. What if our struggles are seeds planted for something greater?" The villagers paused, the gravity of her words sinking in. In that moment, they felt a shift, a spark of revelation igniting their spirits anew. With resolute hearts, they began to chant, laughter mingling with prayer as they committed to embrace whatever awaited them. As they stood in that sacred circle, arms joined, a gust of wind rustled through the branches of the oak, a divine acknowledgement. And then, amidst laughter and prayer, unexpectedly, a light seemed to flicker above them, illuminating their faces in splendor. What did this moment signify? What miraculous paths were opening before their eyes, and how might their faith carry them through? With wonder lingering, they returned to their labor, hands reaching into the soil with renewed vigor. The garden would not simply flourish. It would thrive as a testament to an abundant life lived through faith. Little did they know, the journey ahead was poised to unveil more than cultivated crops. It promised transformative revelations that would shift their understanding of faith itself. What divine surprises lay waiting just beyond the horizon? The sun rose with a new brilliance, washing the village in hues of orange and gold. The air crackled with an electric anticipation, a sense that something extraordinary was about to unfold. The villagers, buoyed by their recent rallying, returned to their garden, each one holding a renewed commitment to faith and to one another. Anna moved amongst them, her heart swelling with the joy of belonging. She felt as if she were among family. There was a rhythm to their labor, a divine symphony echoing through the leaves, the laughter, the prayers. With each seed planted, there was a whisper of hope exchanged, a promise renewed. But as the day wore on, a shadow crept over the horizon. Dark clouds, thick and foreboding, began to gather. "Look," a villager shouted, pointing toward the sky. "The rain, it's coming." Excitement bubbled among them, but then the air grew heavy with an unsettling tension. "What if it brings a storm?" someone whispered, doubt creeping back like a thief in the night. Eyes darted towards Anna, the newcomer who seemed to have stirred something fresh in their spirit. "Perhaps God is teaching us to trust." Anna spoke up, her voice steady. "The storm may seem frightening, but I sense that where the most vibrant growth happens, let us not shrink back now." Her words resonated, and as the first rumble of thunder echoed across the heavens, they huddled beneath the oak once more, hearts intertwined. Mary led them in prayer, her voice rising like incense. "Lord, grant us the courage to embrace whatever you send our way. May we find beauty in the storms and strength in our unity." The wind picked up, swirling around them, lifting leaves into a dance. There was chaos outside, but within that sacred circle, a calm settled. Tears sprang to Mary's eyes as she felt a divine presence enveloping them, a warmth, a promise that whatever transpired would serve a greater purpose. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light tore through the dark sky, illuminating the villagers in an ethereal glow. Gasps of awe filled the air, and it felt as if heaven itself was peeking down upon them. The moment stretched, palpable and electric. "God is with us," Anna exclaimed, her voice piercing through the tense anticipation. "This moment is a reminder that storms can cleanse and revitalize. We may see the thunder, but beyond it lies an abundance that God has in store for us." As her words settled among them, the villagers exchanged glances, each face a mirror of realization. They were not merely protecting their harvest. They were nurturing a community built on faith, resilience, and love. Laughter returned, rippling through the group, mingling with prayers. Then, without warning, rain fell, gentle droplets at first, then heavier, each one striking the earth like a drumbeat. It soaked into their skin, the coolness mingling with warmth, washing away their hesitations. They welcomed the downpour, raising their arms to the sky, their spirits drenched in divine joy. But as they celebrated, Anna caught a glimpse of something beyond the garden. A vision flickered in her mind as a diverse gathering of people, united in faith, each face washed in light, drawn together by a common purpose. Could it be that this village was destined for something greater than this moment? Might we have a calling beyond ourselves? She pondered aloud, captivating the villagers' attention once more. Perhaps we're meant to reach far and wide, to offer comfort to souls like mine and so many others. A community rooted in grace can grow beyond these borders and into the world. Her bold proclamation hung in the air, the weight of it sinking into their hearts. Quiet conversations sprung up, voices both fearful and brave, reflecting on the possibilities that lay ahead. What divine plans were weaving through the hearts of these faithful villagers? As the storm raged on, it became clear that their journey was leading them not just to physical sustenance but to a calling that would transform them forever. And so they stood, united as the heavens poured forth, readying themselves for the next chapter of Their story a chapter that promised purpose beyond anything they had envisioned. What truth awaited them in the storm? As the rain danced all around them, the villagers felt an exhilarating energy swell in their hearts. Arm in arm, they shared stories of their past trials. Moments when storms had come their way, moments of doubt, but also moments of soaring faith. "I remember the drought of last summer," Thomas began, his voice cutting through the sound of the pouring rain. "The crops failed, and for a while it felt like we would lose everything. But it was during that time we grew closer. We prayed together, broke bread together, and something new sprang forth, a bond that made us strong. Our faith became our harvest." Nods of agreement rippled through the group, hearts stirred by shared memories. "Look at us now," exclaimed Sarah, her laughter ringing out as the rain dripped from her hair. "If God saw us through that, surely He will carry us through this. Each storm brings growth, doesn't it?" Through the cascading rain, a light laughter emerged, merging with the whispers of prayer rising toward the heavens. Perhaps the storm was not a test after all, but an invitation, a calling into deeper trust and shared purpose. Anna caught sight of the vibrant unity weaving through the group. She closed her eyes, allowing the weight of their shared faith to wash over her. She could feel the pulsating heartbeat of the village, a heartbeat echoing with blessings yet to come. The rain whispered promises, louder than the thunder. "Why not harness this moment?" she suggested, hope making her voice soar. "Why not let this storm become the catalyst for our mission? Imagine a caravan of faith, reaching out to those in need." Excitement ignited at her words. "Think of the people across the river," Michael chimed in, his eyes brightening. "They've struggled just as we have. What if we brought them food and shared our stories? We've learned to lean on one another. We can help them learn too." The notion spread like wildfire, causing a tangible warmth to fill the chilled air around them. A larger purpose gripped their spirits, igniting within them a sacred passion. They saw it now. The storm was not merely weather. It was a herald of change, a new beginning. Just then, amidst the fraying clouds, a burst of sunlight broke through, illuminating their circle, wrapping around them like a holy embrace. Gasps turned to cheers as they felt a swell of divine encouragement flooding their hearts. "Look," Anna pointed, her eyes shining as she soaked in the moment. "Heaven is shining upon us. Even in the storm, light breaks through for those who seek it." They raised their voices in unison, songs of praise merging with the thunder, filling the air with melodies that transcended earthly concerns. But as joy swirled around them, a different reality tugged gently at Anna's spirit. She felt a growing unease, a faint warning flickering like candlelight within. Would their divine calling bring challenges alongside blessings? "Are we ready for what lies ahead?" she questioned. "Will we have the courage to face the obstacles that might come with our new mission?" The villagers paused, contemplating her words. Their laughter softened, and for a heartbeat, doubts floated among them like fallen leaves. But Anna's heart was resolute. "Together we can weather any storm. If God is with us, who can stand against us?" This fueled their faith anew, stoking a fire that could not be snuffed. As they prepared to move forward with a mission rooted in love and faith, the storm seemed to transform. It became a golden thread weaving them together, binding them to each other and to a greater purpose. Now, as the raindrops fell, each one a baptism of grace, the villagers felt something profound stirring within them, a calling to spread love and hope in the face of adversity. What challenges awaited them on this journey beyond their borders? Would their faith hold firm as they ventured forth into the unknown? Each moment crackled with divine expectation, like the air before a brilliant sunrise, promising wonders just ahead. As the storm settled, the village stood resilient, hearts ablaze with newfound purpose. They gathered around the great oak, radiant in the aftermath of divine encounters, recounting the commitments each had made. Each whispered goal felt like a vibrant thread weaving them into an intricate tapestry of faith and service, sparkling with the potential to touch lives beyond their own. Mary, anchored by the challenges they had faced, found herself emboldened by the collective journey. "We can't just dream. We must act," she proclaimed, her smile infectious. Our mission is to bridge the love we've cultivated here to those who need it most. Let us prepare to travel across the river. Let us be the hands and feet of God. A chorus of unwavering agreement echoed among the villagers. The love shared within this small chapel had given birth to the seeds of an even greater mission, blossoming into hopes intertwined. David, a quiet farmer, raised his voice. Let us prepare food, gather resources, and set forth to share our blessings. We can do this together. Excitement mounted as they bustled about, fueled by faith and unity. Hands worked tirelessly, crafting baskets and gathering supplies, their hearts resonating with purpose. The villagers were no longer just individuals, they were a family bound by a holy mission. Yet, as preparations grew, Anna sensed the shadows of uncertainty lingering on the edges. Will we have enough? She urged. Resources are limited, and we don't know the full extent of what we'll face. Quiet whispers of doubt began to stir within the group, echoing fears of scarcity. Without hesitation, Mary turned to her, a warm steadiness in her gaze. We harness the abundance of faith. Remember the rain that nourished our seeds? Trust that as we share our love, God will provide. All eyes flickered with renewed hope, and Anna took a step forward. Yes, just like we've witnessed with our garden. Opening our hearts to serve will yield miracles beyond our understanding. A single act of kindness can create ripples of change. Rejuvenated by the call to trust, they set their eyes upon the horizon. As the sun began to dip towards the earth, a golden path of light shone before them, beckoning to take the first step. With baskets filled with food and hearts brimming with hope, they formed a convoy, stepping into the evening glow. The journey was alive with anticipation. Laughter mingled with spirited voices as they marched through swaying fields. Each step hung heavy with the promise of bearing hope to those who needed it most. The river's edge came into view, glimmering like a promise fulfilled. Yet, as they approached, trepidation loomed. On the opposite bank, a group of weary faces awaited, hollow eyes filled with uncertainty and despair. Mary faltered for a moment, her heart throbbing with the weight of their shared humanity. What if they don't accept us? She whispered. But Anna, newly transformed, stepped forward resolutely. If we approach in love, we must trust in the Spirit that has brought us this far. We are here as vessels of grace. With a collective breath of courage, the villagers crossed the river. As they reached the other side, the weary gathering perked up, curiosity sparking within them. There was a moment of hesitation then. Kindness poured forth like a rushing river. Mary stepped forward, her voice warm yet strong. We come as friends, with open hearts and food to share. Come, let us walk together in faith and community. A tremor swept through the crowd, and the air hung thick with longing. Slowly, they reached for the baskets, receiving the blessings offered. Tentatively at first, but then with an overwhelming gratitude that ignited into joy. Before long, laughter erupted where silence had once held sway. Stories exchanged like currency, a soul-deep connection forged through shared struggles and triumphs. Hope cascaded like raindrops on parched earth, filling hearts and healing wounds, vitality rekindling those weary spirits. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of hope, the two communities stood, united, a divine meeting of resilience and faith. A shared meal, laughter rising to the heavens, transformed not just their relationship but every person present. In that sacred moment, the villagers felt the warmth of divine presence resonate through the air. Mary, standing amidst new friends, looked around, tears glistening in her eyes. This is why we walked. Together we hold the power to light the way through darkness. This is our calling. The echoes of praise once again floated towards the heavens, hearts intertwined in gratitude. And as the stars blinked into being, the villagers marveled at the miraculous transformation around them. They understood that abundance was not merely in possessions, but in the love shared when hearts opened to each other. Their combined faith had become a beacon, illuminating even the darkest corners of despair. With renewed commitment, they made a promise under the celestial sky. They would return, not only to this place, but ever forward, ready to continue the journey of love for all they met. They were forever changed. No longer just a village, it was a family forged in the fires of faith, ready to embrace every divine calling that lay ahead. In closing, let us celebrate this moment together and keep our hearts open. Now, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread this message of divine abundance. Comment down below your reactions and your own testimonies about love in action in your life. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Remember, only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.